राम रघुवर को पंड नाम राम रघुवर को। सब गाइए। हेतु कृसान अनुहिम कर को। सब गाइए। हेतु कृसान अनुहिम कर को। राम जय अगुण अनुपम गुण निधान सो। महामंत्र जोई जपत महेशु।
श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम।
महामंत्र जोई जपत महेशु।
श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम।
काशी मुकुटि उपदेशु।
श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम।
काशी मुकुटि उपदेशु।
श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम।
महिमा जासु जान गुण राई।
श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम।
महिमा जासु जान गुण राऊ। राम जय राम
जय जय राम।
प्रथम पूजियत नाम प्रभाव।
श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम।
राम नाम एक दासयकारी।
श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम।
राम न सकहि नाम गुण गाए। श्री राम जय
जय जय राम
श्री राम जय जय राम श्री राम जय जय राम श्री राम जय जय राम श्री राम
जय राम जय जय राम
सियावर रामचंद्र की राम राम रटते रटते बीती रे उमरिया। राम
रसते रसते बीती रे उमरिया।
राम राम रटते रटते बीती रे उमरिया।
राम राम रटते रटते बीती रे उमरिया।
रघुकुल नंदन कब आओगे।
रघुकुल नंदन कब आओगे।
भिलनी की डगरिया। राम राम रटते रटते बीती रे उमरिया। राम
राम रटते रटते बीती रे उमरिया।
मैं शबरी बिलनी की जाई। मैं शबरी बिलनी
की जाए।
भजन भाव नहीं जानू रे।
भजन भाव नहीं जानू रे।
राम तुम्हारे दर्शन के हित
राम तुम्हारे दर्शन के हित।
वन में जीवन पालू रे।
वन में जीवन पालू रे।
चरण कमल से निर्मल कर दो।
चरण कमल से निर्मल कर दो।
दासी की झोपड़िया। राम राम रटते रटते बीती रे उमरिया। राम
राम रटते रटते बीती रे उमरिया।
रोज सवेरे वन में जाकर
सवेरे मन में जाकर
रास्ता साफ कराती हूँ।
रास्ता साफ कराती हूँ।
अपने प्रभु के खातिर बन से
अपने प्रभु के खातिर बन से
चुन चुन के फल लाती हूँ।
चुन चुन के फल लाती हूँ।
मीठे मीठे बेरों की मैं भर
मीठे मीठे पेड़ों की मैं भर
लाई रे छबड़िया। राम राम रटते रटते बीती रे उमरिया। राम राम
रसते रसते बीती रे उमरिया।
सुंदर श्याम सलोनी सूरत
सुंदर श्याम सलोनी सूरत
नयनों बीच बसाऊंगी।
नयनों बीच बसाऊंगी।
पद पंकज की रज धर मस्तक
पद पंकज के रज धर मस्तक।
जीवन सफल बनाऊंगी।
जीवन सफल बनाऊंगी।
प्रभु जी मुझको लो बहुत दुखारी हूँ,
सुन लो बहुत दुखारी हूँ,
मुझको दर्शन दे दो दया में,
मुझको दर्शन दे दो दया में,
डालो एक नजरिया, रामा रामा
रखते रखते
धीरे रे उमरिया, रामा रामा रखते रखते धीरे उमरिया, रघुकुल नंदन कब आओगे,
रघुकुल नंदन कब आओगे,
मिलने की डगरिया, रामा रामा रखते
रखते
धीरे उमरिया, रामा रामा रखते रखते धीरे उमरिया, रामा रामा रखते रखते धीरे उमरिया। श्यावर रामचंद्र की जय। राम राघवा जय सीता नायका,
राघवा जय सीता नायका,
राम राघवा जय सीता नायका,
राम राघवा जय सीता नायका,
राम राघव राजीव लोचन, राम राघव राजीव लोचन, कामित फलद करिवरदा,
कामित फलद करिवरदा,
राम राघव राजीव लोचन, कामित फलद करिवरदा,
राम राघव राजीव लोचन, कामित फलद करिवरदा,
कृष्ण केशवा जय गोपी माधवा,
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 कृष्ण केशव अम्बुजलोचन, वाञ्छित फलदाय दुवरदा, कृष्ण केशव अम्बुजलोचन, वाञ्छित फलदाय दुवरदा, कृष्ण केशव अम्बुजलोचन, वाञ्छित फलदाय दुवरदा, कृष्ण केशव
अम्बुजलोचन, वाञ्छित फलदाय दुवरदा,
राम राघवा जय सीता नायका, Madhava.
Jai Gopi Madhava.
वीर हनुमाना अति बलवाना राम नाम रसिया रे। वीर
हनुमाना अति बलवाना राम नाम रसिया रे।
वीर हनुमाना अति बलवाना राम नाम रसिया रे।
हनुमाना अति बलवाना राम नाम रसिया रे।
हे प्रभु मन बसिया रे। ओ प्रभु मन बसिया रे।
प्रभु मन बसिया रे।
राम लक्ष्मण जानकी जय बोलो हनुमान की।
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 वीर हनुमाना अति बलवाना राम नाम रसिया रे।
हनुमाना अति बलवाना राम नाम रसिया रे।
हे प्रभु मन बसिया रे। प्रभु मन बसिया रे। ओ प्रभु मन बसिया रे।
प्रभु मन बसिया रे।
रघुपति राघव राजा राम पतित पावन सीताराम।
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 वीर हनुमाना अति बलवाना राम नाम रसिया रे।
वीर हनुमाना अति बलवाना राम नाम रसिया रे।
हे प्रभु मन बसिया रे।
हे प्रभु मन बसिया रे।
ओ प्रभु मन बसिया रे।
प्रभु मन बसिया रे।
हे प्रभु मन बसिया रे। हे प्रभु मन बसिया रे। बोले पवन पुत्र हनुमान की जय। Okay, let me welcome all of you to this yajna. So our topic is women in the Ramayana, and we have 9 nights, so we'll deal with different women every night. But I'm not going to tell you which female character we'll deal with which night. That's a surprise. That's a surprise for me too. In the tradition, please pay attention to this. All the simple things actually are the things that matter. The simple things in life are the things that matter really. And simple solutions lead to big results actually. What happened? We like too many highfalutin things, you know. How are highfalutin things become high polluted? Today only somebody called. He said he was operating his machinery. Some machinery he was sitting and operating. And dharam, the thing got off. He tried to start it, then he heard a serious backfire. So he thought that some ring that was connecting the crankshaft has given way. Now this is a big thing, eh? The crankshaft is the center of the engine, you know. Everything tied to the crankshaft. This is a big thing. something wrong with something in the crankshaft, that is a major problem. So the machine having a serious backfire, and something was going on, and it wouldn't start. Then after good inspection, he realized one little plug wire he come out. He put it back, and it started, and it's working fine. So the littlest thing can shut down a whole operation, you know. The plug wire is a thin thing like this. Just come out, you just put it back. Anything? Started. That shut down the whole operation. He brought it home and put it on a hoist and everything to find out what was wrong with this thing. And the little things in life is really what matters. Every parent, every mother, every father have to teach their little ones to respect mother as God. Mother is our first God. Now, this is a very small thing. But this thing is the solution to all the problems we are having in society today. All these problems about violence against women, which has been going on and on, is because the parents didn't teach their children to treat mother as God. If that little thing was taught, everything would have been fine. Now we're running helter-skelter, trying to find all sorts of solutions to this big problem which we're having nationwide and worldwide. A big problem we're having worldwide. And everybody clamoring and making noise here and there about all this and what to do and what police will do and what government will do. And no legislation is not there, and the police not doing their job, and the men have no heart, and these are all kind of thing. And you're going to correct that when a tree gets tall and it bends, so you go straighten it? The only way to straighten that tree is with a chainsaw. When the children are little, in the school, in the Bal Vihar, at home, everywhere, teach the children to worship mother as God. That will stay in them. This is the solution. There is no other solution. You may jump high and jump low and try to find any other solution. It will not work. I am guaranteed it will not work. How the rishis have found little solutions to big problems. So thinking about this great big problem which everybody is contemplating about in the society, and we always look for highfalutin answers, you see. Big things must be done. What? You must go and protest and get the government to make this regulation and that regulation, the other legislation, the other thing. And the people who are making the legislation are guilty of the same crime. So, simple thing, huh? So we thought we'll now see in these 9 nights the women in the Ramayana. And in the tradition, mothers are treated as God. Tvameva Mata. Mother is God, first God. And we see the whole Prakriti as being female. All our life breath is from this Prakriti. Everything comes from the Prakriti, which is the feminine aspect of the divine. The whole manifestation which we see. So like this, the tradition has a very strong element of worship of the divinity in the feminine form, the feminine aspect of the divinity. Now, with this in mind, Tulsidas ji and the scriptures have given great power and ascendancy to so many characters in our Ramayana. You all know how Bhagavan Ram himself went against his own words to go to the ashram of Shabari. He fell back on his own words and went to that ashram to bless Shabari. How he touched the stone and changed Ahalya back to former form. How the 5 women in the scriptures are worshipped and remembered for anybody who wants to have intelligence and power of mind and willpower and all such things. Ahalya, Sita, Mandodari, Draupadi, and Ahalya, Sita, Draupadi, Mandodari, and Tara from the Aranyaka, from the Kishkindakan. Tara. Sometimes in place of Mandodari, Kunti is given. In some of the, as we move along in different ages, Mandodari slipped out, then Kunti comes. But make 6, why have to remember 5 only? Add Kunti also. Right? So these women are such virtuous and noble souls that people remember them to get all blessings in the morning. You see? So, today, in this first day of the Yajna, I want to look a little bit at Gautama Nari. Tulsidashi calls her Gautama Nari. Gautama Nari means the wife of the great Gautama Rishi. Her name was Ahalya. Now see, Tulsidashi doesn't speak much of Ahalya. 1 chaupai and 1 doha. Bas. 1 chaupai, 1 doha. But Ahalya sings a great, wonderful stuti to Bhagwan Ram. That goes on for several lines, several verses. We'll see if we can also sing some of that. But here is Tulsidasji's introduction of the story of Ahalya. If you are reading, if anybody have a Ramayana in front of them, this is just before 210 in Balkand. 210 in Balkand. Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Shri Ram Jai Ram
Jai Jai Ram
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram
आश्रम एक दीखी मग माही
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram
खग मृग जीव जंतु तह नाही
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram
पूछा मुनि शिला प्रभु देखी
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram
Ashram ek deek hi magamahi. Bhagwan Shri Ram, Lakshmana, they were going with the great sage Vishwamitra. You all know that story. Vishwamitra came to Dasharath Maharaj and asked for these two boys to come and protect his yajna. While they were walking, one day, they were going to Janakpur actually. He was taking them. Ashramad ek deek maga mahi. Bhagwan Ram saw an ashram. They saw an ashram. Solitary ashram. Eka words Tulsidashi gives also. Khaga mriga jeeva jantutaha nahi. Means no birds, no animal, no living creature was there. That place was desolate, that ashram. Now, what is an ashram without life and activity? You see? A dead place. And the symbolism and the thinking also has to go into the whole thing. You think about it. Pucha munihi sila prabhu dekhi. Prabhu sila dekhi, Prabhu saw a stone. Lord saw a stone in that ashram, big stone. Then Pucha munihi, he asked the sage, what is this stone, this big stone in this ashram? And the sage, this Tulsidashi, just skimming over a big katha in 2 lines. Sakala katha munikaha viseshi. And the Muni told very nicely the whole story of this stone. And what is the story Muni told? Tulsidaji again, very briefly, in 1 doha, he finished the whole story. He's good at that. Tulsidaji can take a little story and make a whole kanda. Or he can take a whole kanda and finish it in 1 doha. And this is the capacity, capability, or the power of communication. To take a small story and make a whole kanda and still not let it be boring. And to take a whole big kanda and condense that into 1 doha and still give all the message. This is a mastery in communication. We have to learn this. Communication is a big, big thing. And if you read this Ramayana and communication, the art of communication has not crossed your mind. That means you have not read Ramayana. You have not studied Ramayana really. So the art of communication should be learnt when studying this Tulsi Ramayana also. And whatever we have to tell, the art of communication really is to tell the most information in the least words. That is not beating around the bush. One fellow was trying to tell a story. What is the story? Not trying to tell a story, trying to ask a question. What is that invention which man has made to see through a wall? That is the question he was trying to ask the other fellow. What is the invention man has made to see through a wall? The invention is the easy thing, that is a window. He's trying to ask the other fellow that question. But how he started the story? Well, Ramu and Shamu were walking one day in the field. And when they came to a certain particular part of the field, a thought struck Ramu. And Ramu decided to ask Shamu, what is the difference? What is it you need for all Ramu, Shamu, and something? We'll tell a whole, but it's called a preface to the whole question. And he just asked the question. And especially on phones and all, oh, bapre. When you have to talk on the phone, just tell the other person on the other side, hoping that the other side person will also give the answer. Because sometimes this fellow asks the question well, but the answer is bapre. That answer like Mahabharata. So communication, see, Tulsidas ji has given the whole Ahalya Katha in 1 doha. This is introduction only. What he's telling, Bhagwan Ram was walking with the Vishwamitra Muni. They were going and they saw an ashram, desolate ashram, no birds, no nothing there. And he saw a stone and he asked the Rishi, what is this stone about? And the Rishi told the whole Katha, Sakala Katha. Tulsidas ji wrapped up that in all that. But what is the Katha? He wrapped up the whole Katha in 1 doha also. What is that? Gautama Nari. That stone, because that is the question is about the stone. The stone is Gautama Nari, the wife of Gautama Rishi. Second thing, Shrapa Basa. She received a shrap, curse. She is under the spell of the Rishi, some shrap. Upaladeha, Daritir. How many things he is telling in very few words? Upaladeha means she got the body of a stone through that shrap, through that curse. And then Daritir, and she is holding on fast. She's holding on fast to that. No, that's a lot of deep messages in there also. She holds on fast to that sharp and to that form of a stone, because that is her way of atoning for her sin. Then, Charana Kamala Raja Chahati Kripa Karahu Raghubir. She is only waiting on the dust of your lotus feet, my dear Bhagwan Ram. She is waiting on the dust of your lotus feet for her to regain her former form. So Dharidhir, she's holding on fast and waiting patiently. She's been waiting for years. So this is the story. And how many things, and see in that also, the great Vishwamitra was such a great sage who had worked his way from nothing to become such a seer of a Gayatri mantra. Vishwamitra is the seer of a Gayatri mantra. He's the sage for that mantra. So he's worked his way from nothing to become, and he's telling, the dust of my feet will not work. The dust of your feet only will work. And Ahalya has been waiting for that. So now, let us go back into the words and then look a little bit again. Bhagwan Ram, he touches her with his foot. One foot is enough, People ask, with the feet. If he raises 2 feet to touch her, he'll fall over, He has to raise 1 foot. He touched her with his foot, and she regained her former form. Then she sings a stuti for Bhagwan Ram, and then we'll go back and see. Let us see the first verse of this stuti. सत पद पावन शोकन सावन प्रगत भई तप पुंज सही देखत रघुनायक जन सुखदायक सन्मुख होय कर जोरी रही अति प्रेम अधीरा पुलक शरीरा मुख नहीं आवई वचन कही गणय बर भागी चरण नीलागी जुगल नयन जल धार बही अतिशय बर भागी चरण नीलागी जुगल नयन जल धार जुगल नयन जल धार बही. Ahalya comes out from this stone form into her own human form, and she sings this most wonderful stuti for Bhagwan Ram, which we'll see just now. Let me tell you a little bit about the background of Ahalya. It is not here in the Ramayana, but it is there strewn all over the various Puranas. Padma Puran, Brahma Puran, Bhagavad Puran, everywhere. Her story is there. It's a great big story. Ahalya was fashioned by Brahmaji himself. She was made by Brahmaji himself. It is said in one of the Puranas that Urvashi was there. Urvashi was the most beautiful among the Apsaras. Apsara, Apsara is called as celestial dancers. There is celestial kalakars, dancers and performers. And one of them was Urvashi. And Urvashi was the most beautiful among the celestial dancers. But Urvashi had a lot of pride in her beauty. So, Brahmaji came to find out that is Urvashi has so much of pride in her beauty. So Brahmaji himself, out of cosmic energy, fashioned this Ahalya, who was the most beautiful woman in the universe, to quell the pride of this Urvashi. This itself has a great big lesson. Anybody who finds that they're too, in Trinidad language, anybody who finds that they're too good looking, man or woman. Otherwise, there are people like that, I too good looking, So there will always be some way in which the pride will be. And see, the design is by Brahmaji himself. The design is by Brahmaji himself. So Urvashi's pride got crushed. That this Ahalya was created, the most beautiful woman in the universe. Then what happened? He gave her to this Gautam Rishi. He said, you bring up this child. Because Brahmaji doesn't bring up children, Brahmaji makes children like that and then give to somebody, or they will leave them to roam. Like Narad, that is Brahmaji's son, he roam all about. That fellow had no house. So he gave to this Gautam Rishi to bring up this. And Gautam Rishi brought her up. And then when she became an adult, he took her back. Now I have raised your daughter, you please take her back. Brahmaji was so impressed by the good job that Gautam Rishi had done that Brahmaji offered, why don't you marry my daughter? This is Ahalya. So Gautam Rishi said, Acha, theek hai. So he married this Ahalya and brought her back there. And she was used to that place already, so she stayed there. Then this Indradev saw this Ahalya and saw her beauty. And Indradev thought, what? This is the most beautiful woman in the world. She should be my wife. How she became wife of Gautam? What is this? I'm telling the basic story, so you think as it goes along. So Indra came there at Gautamji's ashram. And Gautam Rishi had gone down to the river to have his bath and all that. Indradev took the form of Gautam and went into that kutya. And there he had that relationship with Ahalya. Indra, in the form of Gautam. Well, when Gautam came back, that Rishi came back, Indradev was just leaving. And Gautam Rishi saw him coming out of that. And before Indra could slip away, Gautam Rishi gave him sharp. And at the same time gave Ahalya also sharp. Because Ahalya became a stone. That was her sharp. And Indradev, he lost his reproductive organ. That was sharp. Two of them got sharp, sometimes a shrap. Both are same. So up till today, people ask, but this Ahalya was innocent. The Ahalya did not do anything. Why she gave this sharp? Why he gave this sharp to her? Isn't this unfair that he gave this sharp to Ahalya? He could have given sharp to Indra, but why he gave sharp to Ahalya? So let me tell you something. If you see an injustice done by A to B, you see an injustice done by A to B, and you go to B and you say, man, how can you allow this injustice to be done to you? And B gives you the reply now, well, I don't think it is an injustice, you know. You, from your side, you may be seeing it is an injustice and all. But let me tell you how I see it. Listen to how Ahalya sees it. This is here in the Stuti also. Ahalya sees nowadays what we call an injustice done to Ahalya. But that judgment should not come from you. It was not done to you. It should come from the person to whom it was done. See her words. मुनिश्राप जो दीना अति भल कीना परम अनुग्रह में माना देखे उभरी लोचन हरिभव मोचन इह लाभ शंकर जाना मुनिश्राप जो दीना अति बल कीना परम अनुग्रह में माना परम अनुग्रह में माना परम अनुग्रह में माना. This is Ahalya's own words now to Bhagwan Ram. Muni Shrap jo dinha, whatever Shrap the Muni gave to me, she is now telling. Ati bhala kina. Ati bhala kina means he did excellent. He did well, extremely well. Ati bhala. Not just bhala. Bhala kina means he did well. Ati bhala kina. The Muni did amazing by giving me that Shrap. Paraman may mana. I consider it to be the greatest favor that could ever have been done to anybody. I consider the Shrap to be the greatest favor that could have been done to anybody. Dekhev bhari lochana hari bhava mochan. Because of that Shrap, I can get now to feast my eyes, my tear-soaked eyes, on Bhagwan Ram, who is Bhava Mochan, the one who frees all from this sansar. I could get to see that person because of the Shrap which the Muni gave. So if Ahalya okay with the Shrap, what is your problem? Everywhere we go, why she had, like that? Why Gautam Rishi had to give Shrap to Ahalya and this and that and all? But from the words here, she seemed to be quite okay with it. And this is one more thing I want to tell you. This came up yesterday in Tapovan Ashram also. We were there. This question came. And what is that? Whatever may appear to be a Shrap to you, from your point of view, from your angle of vision, from another angle of vision, that thing is actually a blessing. Whatever is a curse from this side, if you look properly, you will see it is a blessing. And it's going on asking. Now, if from an ordinary standpoint, we don't understand this deeper message and all that, right? And you still want to justify from a very vyavaharik standpoint, because what do you call? Worldly standpoint. How Gautam Rishi would have, or why Gautam Rishi would have given that Shrap to Ahalya. Now you please think. Gautam Rishi left the Kutya and he is going to the river for his bath, right? First thing, Gautam Rishi will take a bath only one day or every day? You think like a lawyer, no? All the things in Shastras actually can be really understood well if you think like a lawyer. Gautam Rishi leaves the Kutya to go to the river to take his bath. This is not something which he does one day. He does this every day. Aha. Oh. Gautam Rishi will take a specific time. Anybody who does same thing, same time every day, they do that with great precision actually. So he'll leave the Kutya at 6 a.m. and every day he'll come back at 6:30. Okay. Because the bath will revise at this time, then the bath will take so long, then he has to walk back. So this will be a routine, right? 6 o'clock he leaves the Kutya to go to take his bath. 6:05, Gautam Rishi comes back. Now Indra is coming back as Gautam Rishi. You will not find that funny. You will not find that strange. You will not think. Gautam Rishi has never done this in his life. Suddenly, in 5 minutes, he comes back. So, in this thing, right? Please pay attention to this, and you have to see the whole symbolism in all of it at the same time. A human being is required by Shastras, and by virtue of the fact that he's a human being is required to think and think logically. And if I act without thinking, then I'm going to have to pay the price for that. Acting without thinking is actually acting with ignorance. And acting with ignorance has a price. So, he goes, and Indra comes as in his form. And she doesn't question. A question will immediately come in your mind or not. If it doesn't, you're not thinking then. And if you're not thinking, an unthinking human being has a price to pay for not thinking. And it all depends now on what the not thinking led to. If the not thinking led to a little thing, then the price is little. If the not thinking led to a big thing, then the price is big. So she did not think or question or nothing. Then Gautam Rishi came at the specified time, at the regular time. So, the message for all of us in this is, and that's why we keep telling, sochiye zara, socho, think. Vimirshaya tadasheshena. Bhagavan tells in Gita, Arjuna, you consider things properly. You have to consider things. Think. Everywhere it is given like this. So there's a very big price for not thinking, not paying attention, not questioning, not being aware, not being alert. Something was amiss. True, she was tricked by Indra. He got his sharp for tricking her. Then we ask, why did she get a sharp? She got a sharp for not being sharp. One is sharp and one is sharp. But in Trinidad we say sharp. So, from an ordinary standpoint, this is, from a higher standpoint, this has to be really seen from the bigger picture. What is considered to be a shrap is really a blessing. What is considered to be a curse is really a blessing in disguise. So, what is the important thing from the story of Ahalya for all of us to learn? Well, there are several other things. One first thing, which is Tulsidas himself hints at, Upala Deha Dhari Dheer. She accepted the shrap with great fortitude and wisdom. She accepted that this is the result of my karma. And I know, and the wisdom is, I know this is going to have some proper outcome in the end. Otherwise, most people don't take responsibility for their karma phala. Most 99.99% people do not take responsibility for karma phala, means the result of karma. If the result has come to me, where would the karma have originated? If a karma phala has come to me, where would the karma have originated? The karma could not have originated in you, and the phala came to me. It's dhari dheer. Dhiraha in Sanskrit means a wise person. So with great understanding and wisdom and acceptance, these type of words you have to imbibe. She accepted that shram. This thing is a great lesson for all human beings. And actually women are better at bearing things like this than men. Men, they don't have the patience, they don't have the fortitude, they don't have so many things. But women are very, very good at this thing. Dhari dheer. She held it with great patience and understanding and all that. I once saw in a house, the real thing, that husband was outside shouting and quarreling and making noise and getting vexed. And one of the offspring came there and told the mother, he's shouting and making noise and getting on there, and he say he go beat you and all kind of thing. He's saying go beat you and all kind of thing. Telling the mother. The mother just very calmly and coolly, lay calm na. Let him come. Very calm, very dheer. Not worked up about. He worked up. But she, good at this, If the wife had said, I go beat him, I'll kill him, then you will see how then you will see what he will say. But wonderful quality of Ahalya, accepted it very nicely, and therefore in the end, in the stuti, we are saying, she said, I consider it to be a great, great, great favor done by the Rishi to me. Not anything bad. So this is the first lesson. Ashramad ekadikhi magamahi khagamriga jiva jantu tahanahi. She is also, I want to just remind you, she also represents that great giving, Ahalya, giving to society, giving to the world. I'll tell you how this is not here in this story, but there in Puranas. Do you know it was Ahalya who raised Bali and Sugriv? You may not know that. Ahalya raised both of them. Who is Aruna? Aruna is the charioteer of Bhagwan Surya Bhagwan, you know? He's the one who giddy up. He tells those 7 horses. And Surya Bhagwan is sitting in the back, right? You all know all this story, Puranic story, right? So one day, he's sitting in front of the chariot going, and the boss, Surya Bhagwan, he's sitting in the back. Now whole day I'm going, whole day, whole night, because what is night here in the other side is day. Them going on. 2 of them going. So Surya Bhagwan, Aruna told Surya Bhagwan, he said, I heard that in Indra's court, I heard in Indra's court that they have there Apsaras dancing. So Surya Bhagavan said, that is true. There are apsaras dancing there. But no men are allowed there. Only Indra can go to watch. So Aruna said, really? How come? So Aruna break away. I must give the reins to Surya Bhagavan only. And he gone there, And he thought, but no men are allowed in there, only women. So this Aruna took the form of Aruni. He took a female form, and he went in there. But he took such a beautiful form. Indra got enamored with him now. Him who is a her. Indra got enamored by her. And it is said in that same night they had a child. In Devalok, anything can happen. So Indra realized, oh, fast, a child came. Indra told, you take this child quickly and go and leave it there in Gautam Rishi's ashram. Then he came back. That Aruni came back. Aruni actually came back there and told Surya Bhagavan the whole story. When Surya Bhagavan heard this story now, he said, really? You took such a beautiful form. Show me that form now. He showed him that form. He became enamored with his own charioteer now, who is now from him to her. And they also had a child. That first one was called as Bali. This second was called as Sugriva. And it is said that Gautam Rishi, seeing, he went there and deposited his second child also. Gautam Rishi, seeing these two children, he did not know where they came from. And Ahalya was really rocking, oh, that's a nice baby. And Ahalya was having a great time with it. But Gautam Rishi got really angry because they were sons of Devatas, right? He gave sharp, and that's how they became monkeys. He gave them sharp because he found that Ahalya was having too much of attraction to these two children. But Ahalya did not budge. She brought up the two little monkeys also. So this is selfless sacrifice for others in the world who may not be mine, who may even look like a monkey. Selfless sacrifice represented by this Ahalya. She brought up both this Bali and Sugriva. That's how Indra avatar and Surya avatar. We say na Amsha of Bali and Sugriva. So both of them brought up by Ahalya. She had a son also, Shantananji. When Vishwamitra took Bhagwan Ram Lakshmana all the way to Janakpur, there for the Vivaha, Bhagwan Ram Sita Vivaha, wedding, there Shantananji was the royal priest in the court of Janakji Maharaj. The first question Shantananji asked was, how is my mother? His mother was Ahalya only. So, that Shantananji is son of this Ahalya, her own son. It is not said there whether he had known that she was given a sharp by his father and all of that sort of thing. But now Vishwamitra could have said, oh, she is fine, she is mukta. Because Bhagwan Ram touched her with his feet. You see? So, he asked, and Vishwamitra, Bhagwan, both of them told immediately how is his mother, because she was from the same area as there. So, like this, she represents that one who has great patience of motherhood also to bring up these children. Great wisdom. That's why she is one of those persons to remember in the morning. Great wisdom. And did not see even one stroke of evil in what the rishi did. In fact, it was a great blessing. Anugraha, favor, blessings. That he did this. I got Ram Darshan. I got Rama to touch me. I got Mukti. And therefore, he said that she went away to her husband's place. Now let me tell you quickly the translation of this stuti. Our time is slipping away fast. Parasata pada pavana sokana savana pragata bhai tapa punja sahi. He whose lotus feet, Bhagavan's lotus feet, touched her and she became purified. And whoever his feet touches, those people become free from all sorrows. Sokana savan. Pragata bhai, he became manifest in front of, or she became manifest again. Tapapunja sahi. And see how Tulsidashi's description. By staying as the stone, taking the sharp, going inwards, internalizing it, and seeing that it is the result of some purva karma, that thing brings about a transformation in the person. When he goes outside and blames this one and blames that one, that thing brings a devolution, not an evolution. When one takes that and goes inside, one is able to say, yes, somewhere, sometime, I have done some karma which has resulted in this phala, in this result. You see? And now I should take a resolution that I should not engage in any such karma in the future. Everything that comes in front of me, I should give it due thought and attention, like that. One can evolve like that when one takes the responsibility for the karma phala which has come to me. You see? So, tapapunja. Tapapunja means one who has a storehouse of great merits, great thing, great karma, in other words. Dekhata Raghunayak Jana Sukhadayak. She is seeing Bhagavan Shri Ram in front of her, who is Jana Sukhadayak, one who gives joy to all beings and people across the whole universe. Sanmukha hoi kara jori rahi. In front of her he came. She put her hands together and kara jori rahi, stood there in front of Bhagavan Ram, singing this stuti. Ati prem adhira pulaka sarira, with her hair standing on ends. Sukha nahi aavai bachan kahi. With great joy, she, with so much of overflowing with joy, words could not come to her mouth. But considering how fortunate she was and putting herself together, she sang this stuti. This description is there. Atisaya barabhagi. How extremely fortunate she is. Charananhi lagi. She fell on his feet. And Jugala Nayana Jaladhar Vahi. With both her eyes streaming with tears. Dhiraja Manu Kinha Prabhu Kahu Chinha Raghupati Kripa Bhagati Pai. And pulling herself together, like I said, she was so happy that she got the blessings of Bhagavan Shri Ram. Ati Nirmala Bani Astuti Thani. And then she sang this stuti for Bhagavan Ram. And how she starts, very interesting thing. She sings this stuti. Stuti means praise. Stu in Sanskrit means to praise. So stuti means praise. She praises Bhagavan Shri Ram. And the first words that come out from her mouth, is Jnana Gamya Jaya Raghurai. And you will see this type of wisdom in Tara also. You will see this type of wisdom in Mandodari also. You will see this wisdom in all the women of Ramayana. But Bhagavan Ram is Jnana Gamya. Jnana Gamya means that one who is known only through the highest knowledge, the Upanishadic knowledge. Jnana Gamya. We can reach Bhagavan through this knowledge of the Upanishad. He is called Jnana Gamya. So this is the first word that comes out from her mouth. Jai Raghurai. Glory, victory to this Raghurai. Mai Nari, Apavan, Prabhu. Apavan, Prabhu Jagat Pavan. I am a woman and then I am impure because I have done bad karmas. I am impure. And Bhagavan, you are the one who purifies the whole world. Ravana Ripu Jana Sukhadai. You are the enemy of Ravan and the giver of joy to all beings. And see, Ravan is not yet introduced. This is Balkanda. Ravan is over in the picture. Ravan comes in Aranyakand. But already she's telling, you're Ravana Ripu, the enemy of Ravan. So how she knew about the Ravana and all? Ravana come yet. So the idea is, every Treta Yuga, the whole story of Ramayana repeats itself. And when a person is born in Treta Yuga, they know the story already. Oh, Bhagwan Ram will come. This is Treta Yuga. His coming is in the offing. It's just here, just now, like that. So, Ravana, Jana Sukhadai, Rajiva Lochana, Bhavavaya Mochan, or lotus-eyed one, who is the remover of the fear of the sansar. Pahi, pahi, saranai, ai. Protect me, save me. I have taken refuge in you. Like this she sings in this most famous and wonderful stuti. Okay, so this is the great Ahalya in Balkand. Then there are so many, we'll see. You could take a guess who we'll see tomorrow. I'll take a guess also. All right. Okay. We'll continue with women in Ramayana tomorrow. Here we have Gurudev Jayanti Yajna every year. So Jayanti Yajna is from 6 to 8 of May. Gurudev Jayanti is 8th of May. So 6 to 8 we'll have the Gurudev Jayanti Yajna, which is conducted here every year. This is first thing. Second thing, from the 8th of May to the 8th of June for 1 month, we'll be making an attempt to raise money through crowdfunding for our university in India. Chinmaya Mission University is there in India, and now you all can start thinking about going there to do your degrees and whatever you have to do. Encourage the next generation to get that type of education rather than the type of education which we get here, which is filled with a different type of culture altogether. I remember in university, and this is for universities in the West, this is true across the border. I remember in my university in Toronto, when the class is over, professor and students both going in the bar to drink. In fact, some days the professor inviting the students, and some days the students inviting the professor, and all of them go and then they drink like a fish. That is culture. So, we have started our own university where the same secular knowledge will be taught, but all the values again will be adhered to as we move through tertiary education also. So for that university, we'll be raising funds for 1 month. And how it will work, it's a very simple thing. You just take a sankalpa, all of you who are here, and get your friends and everybody to take a sankalpa. Every day for that month, you put away a $5 or $10. I give up $1 for the day now. A $5 or $10 for a month, for a day. Because on that day, you know what money we does waste? There I go on. We go in Tobago and we stop on the side of the road there. Tell the fella, say, I don't want our doubles. I want our singles. A single. So I say, how much you go charge me? He said the same price. So I waste money for a single day. It's the same price. Double, single. But like that, we just waste money every day. So let us, for that month, put away so much every day. You take your own sankalpa. I'll put away $5 every day. Some people can afford to put away $10 every day. Some people have no patience with that. They say, Swamiji, 30 days, $10 a day, $300, take that up front. I have no patience with all this putting away $5 a day and $10 a day and all that kind of thing. Or $150 a day, $150 for the month, or whatever. And we'll collect all of this and we'll send it to the university, okay? All right, we'll see more of this as we go closer. We have here ongoing Panchadashi class on mornings. In the morning from 6:30 to 7:30 in Saraswati Nilayam, just down here, we have Panchadashi class. Panchadashi is an ancient text written by the great Vidyaranya Swamiji on Advaita Vedanta. So those of you who want to come, you can still come and join. I think you will not be so lost. CMTT is the service-oriented organization which has received the Organization of the Year by the Guardian Group or the Express Group? Guardian Group, they have received the Organization of the Year for the great seva that they have done in this COVID time and giving, food to the needy and so many things. They have helped out in the flood, and an enormous amount of work is being done by CMTT. So right now they are in a drive to raise funds for the victims of the volcano eruption in St. Vincent. Vincentians are covered in ash. Now all of them looking like Lord Shiva. But it is a serious business actually. And any disaster can strike anybody anytime. We could have the worst disaster here in any time also. Actually, it is by a great cataclysmic event that Trinidad got separated from Venezuela. So imagine if something like that happened again. What will happen? Cuba gone Barakpo. Because Trinidad separated from Venezuela by something like that. This used to be one contiguous piece of land. So anything could happen anytime. So now they're going through this really terrible disaster there. I saw some pictures looking so bad. See, when snow falls in Canada or America, after one day it melts away. When this ash falls, so it is like snow covered everywhere and then not going anywhere. Okay, so you can find out the ways to give to CMTT because they will be sending there thousands of buckets with food stuff for the victims of the volcano eruption. At the bookstall there, you will be able to find out exactly how you can donate. Garam Masala restaurant is reopened for dining. You can come there and dine. This is the only place you can dine and no wine. So if you have that type of concept, others say wining and dining, but it's only dining. You can also pre-order and pick up your orders and all that, okay? Also catering is done by Garam Masala. Oh, Tanushri and Satya came here today to sing from the Tanushri of Satya Sai organization. And Trevor Samaru is your last name. Trevor Samaru for bhajans. Tanushri of Satya Sai. Oh, sorry, Tanushri. And thank you for coming and sharing your bhajan. I was hearing from over there, I was wondering who was singing. First I thought it was a recording. Very good. Okay, there's opportunity for you to sponsor different things here. If you so wish, please do. All right, आरती के लिए सब खड़े हो जाएंगे. आरती श्री रामायण जी की कीरते कलित ललित सियपी. आरती श्री रामायण जी की कीरते कलित ललित सियपी. पावत ब्रह्मादिक मुनि नारद वाल्मीक विज्ञान विशारद. सुख सनकादि शेष अरु शारद. बरनी पवन सुत कीरति नीति.
आरती श्री रामायण जी की कीरति कलित ललित सियपी की. आरती श्री रामायण जी की कीरति कलित ललित सियपी की.
गावत वेद पुराण अष्टदश छौ शास्त्र सब ग्रंथन को रस. मुनि जन धन संतन को सर्वस. चार अंश सम्मत सब की.
आरती श्री रामायण जी की कीरति श्री रामायण जी की कीर्ति करे धरलित सिय की
भावत संतत शंभु भवानी करुघट संभव मुनि विज्ञानी व्यास आदि कवि वर्ज बखानी काव्य भूषण गरुड़ के ही
आरती श्री रामायण जी की कीर्ति करे धरलित सिय की आरती श्री रामायण जी की कीर्ति करे धरलित सिय की
कमल हरनि विषय रस पीकी सुभग सिंगार मुक्ति जुबती दलन रोग भव मूरियमी की दात मात सब विधि तुलसी की
आरती श्री रामायण जी की कीर्ति करे धरलित सिय की आरती श्री रामायण जी की कीर्ति करे धरलित सिय की
श्री राम जय 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 राम श्री राम जय जय राम
श्री राम जय जय राम श्री राम जय जय राम
श्री राम जय जय राम श्री राम जय
श्री राम जय जय राम श्री राम जय राम
त्वमेव माता च पिता त्वमेव बन्धुश्च सखा त्वमेव विद्या द्रविणं त्वमेव सर्वं मम देव ॐ पूर्णमद पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः हरि ॐ श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः हरि ॐ सियावर रामचंद्र की जय पवन सुत हनुमान की जय और भाई सब संतन की जय श्री सत्य सनातन धर्म की जय नमः पार्वती पते हर